You're listening to Errol Parker and Clancy Overall, editors of the Betoota Advocate, on Desert Rock FM. Well, welcome back to the Betoota Advocate radio show. You're joined by myself, Clancy Overall, editor of the Betoota Advocate, and of course, Errol Parker, editor at large. How are you, Errol?
Good to be here, mate. It's good that the season's finally changed here in the Diamantina. We've had nothing but rain for months up here. It's been a sight to see. I mean, it's only once every 10 or 15 years that you get to see the mighty Cooper Creek in full flood. Don't necessarily get to see the Diamantina in full flood, but we've got the old trifecta here. We've got the Wilson down there at the back end of Thargomindah. That's in flood now. It's flooding into Cooper Creek, and we've got the Diamantina too. So on both sides of the Grey Range, mate, we've got water going into Lake Eyre.
The new Northern Rivers, they're calling us. And, a lot of attitudes are changing with this changing landscape. As many people would know, after the federal election result, Queensland is now known as Greensland. Brisbane River is finally blue for the first time in many years because environmentalism is being taken quite seriously, even by the quiet Australians, we've learnt. There's been a lot going on, and there's a lot of fallout from the federal election, which we won't be talking about today because no one gives a fuck anymore. The results are in, and we don't have to talk about this for 3 years. So, personally, I'm in a state of nirvana, knowing that we can continue and return to interviewing rock stars, which is what we are doing today. We have the young gentleman from Polish Club in the booth with us. They've managed to stay together. The chemistry is visible. They haven't fallen apart during this unprecedented couple of years for live musicians. Things are going well. You guys haven't, exploded, imploded, and are still making music. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a really trying time for John and I, but we've survived. Yeah. And, we're just flying the flag for rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just wondering, is the floodwater good to drink up here?
Give it a couple more days. Everything needs to
as
flush
long as
out.
It's running.
Yeah.
Just give it a taste.
Yeah.
Find out.
If the water is still, you've got to chill. If it runs, it'll probably give you the runs too.
Yeah.
So.
Which is, the runs is good. It's cleaning you out, right?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly, mate.
Yeah. I mean,
the Betoota colonic.
The oldest juice cleanse in the country, mate.
You guys haven't really stopped. You've remained present throughout the pandemic. But I do want to talk about how does life feel now compared to 6 months ago?
You can't stop. I think if you stop, especially if you're not a kid who's already doing stuff on TikTok all day, every day, if you stop, you're gone. You're dead to people.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily the most prolific online, but we enjoy doing it for the band.
Yeah, I know that thing where the backlash where labels are going, you got to do a TikTok before you release this thing. I think we kind of nipped that in the bud a year ago, basically.
They tried. So there's one kid who works at our label. I think he was literally a very, very young boy.
I think he's of age now.
Yeah, he's probably of age now, so ladies. But they set up a meeting with him and we're like, yeah, sure. So I was like, I'll hop on Zoom and chat to this guy and hear him out about this newfangled TikTok thing. And he basically, he had a deck of here's what you do on TikTok. You post 5 to 10 times a day and you do this and you got to do that. And I'm like, hey man, I'm in my 30s. Look at me and see this and just know that I know, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Everything you say is right.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, big thumbs up. I'm sure it works, but I'm tired and I don't want.
Yeah,
I'm sick of learning.
Yeah. We've already nipped the NFT thing in the bud as well. We're kind of ahead of the.
I can imagine the shit that has been brought to you over the last couple of years.
But all it ever is hey, do you want to make this an NFT? Hey, do you want to do TikTok? It's not. It's one line, and all you have to be is no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we don't get proven wrong within the next year.
We get proven wrong all the time, but the point stands. It's always I'm tired and I want to do something else that's interesting. I'm not against any of the concepts, but it's there's no ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm not even putting it on the person that's suggesting it. It's like, I don't have any ideas for it.
Yeah.
So like, it's
And then they don't either.
shit.
So
Yeah.
it makes an
Although-
easy decision.
although
Really.
Probably like one of the first NFTs in music could be that album that the Wu-Tang Clan did, where they only
true.
made one of them.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
that
Skrelly.
asshole Skrelly, yeah.
Yeah, that worked out well.
The
didn't it?
farmer bro.
Yeah.
Who has it now?
I think another person who's cut from Skrelly's jib, you know, he's from that school where he was like, oh, nice, now I'm going to buy it and I'm going to listen to it. And
Was it not
it's
Elon?
Gonna be that.
Did Elon buy it?
Oh, mate, I couldn't tell you.
Did you ask him?
We'll hit him up on Discord. The Wu-Tang Clan included a hilarious clause in that contract, which was the only time it can be relieved of him if he doesn't on-sell it is if it's stolen by Bill Murray.
All right.
That was, and if Bill Murray steals it, it's not theft. It was just some bizarre thing they've thrown at it. And then when it became evident how much of a villain Martin Shkreli was, they were like, Bill, can you fucking do it?
But
Like,
isn't Bill a villain? Isn't it only off him as well?
Well, yeah, we'll wait and see how that all goes. I do want to ask, do you think there'd be bands out there in this day and age who are feeling the pressure to hit templates that exist in social media? Like, you know, it would make sense if you were a young kid coming through, like Popstar, for example, a young pop star coming through to make a song that just... The hook was perfect for the 15, 30 seconds of an Instagram reel or TikTok. Did you think that is happening out there in the landscape?
I think it is an expectation, like across the board, but I don't see it as like a problem necessarily. The problem for me is with all kind of music promotion and music release is that there's only like one avenue that everyone focuses on. It's the same thing when like people complain about like Triple J. It's like, oh, all Australian bands that have to tailor their sound to Triple J. And it's like, yeah, but I don't blame Triple J for it.
Yeah.
They're the only national broadcaster that are doing things like Unearthed and giving people a platform.
Playing new music.
Yeah.
New local music.
It sucks if it gets funneled into one kind of vibe, which I don't even know if that's true. I don't really care. But
It's not a monopoly. It's not for that shit.
well, we just there needs to be more of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no, it shits me that there's no like tastemakers anymore where you can go to like back, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, you could go to a blog and you trust the tastemaker to kind of expand your horizons.
Yeah, and there'd be magazines in the barbershop and, you know, that kind of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like people would know the names of music reviewers and, you know, there'd be actual music criticism. You don't open a magazine. I opened up a international music magazine that I won't name at the airport the other day, and every fucking review is 4 stars and up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
what are
They
we
hedge
doing?
their
What are we
bets.
doing?
Yeah.
Everything's great. Okay, cool. Why the fuck would I read this?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
saying nothing.
Yeah, they're hedging their bets.
At the end of the day, if you're a new band in Sydney, you're pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
That's what I want to ask. How did you guys get your jump up?
By being old and starting ages ago.
But you wouldn't know, 20.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into when
Right,
you started,
so
but like
so
that's it's not that
essentially
long.
like the property market. It's like,
Well, I wish I got
I
into
bought
the
my house and it was 20 grand.
I wish I got into the property market instead of starting this shitty band.
And now I'm depressed.
No, I want to talk about that because you formed in 2014, which isn't that long ago.
Christmas of
Same,
2014. So.
same time the Batuta Advocate went digital.
Oh, really?
yeah.
So
Whoa.
it's,
What a
would-
year.
I would like to say that wasn't that long ago. If memory serves me correctly, your band was forged kind of at the height of Hillsong Sharia. You know,
Are you making like a causation or correlation?
New
Well,
South
that was
Wales
the first
lockout laws.
lockdown.
The lockout laws.
That was the
We-
first-
We just beat it. We just beat it. I reckon because we had
what?
like a couple of shows that like we
Yeah.
played Gallery Bar for free.
Yeah.
We were lucky because we had a period where we had friends that knew someone at Triple J or someone knows someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was like a, I don't know, 3 to 6 month period where we got lucky in getting music to the right people.
I think we also started playing other cities pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes you can get stuck in Sydney because you lose a lot of money going anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting around, and also being a 2-piece is we could just fly straight up.
that was it.
That's the trick.
You cut out all the
Extras.
bullshit you don't need.
Yeah.
And
2 seats in an exit row and we're laughing.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sit in the toilet if I have to.
And
Yeah.
I suppose from like 2014 to 2016 was basically the last glory days of like your Facebook and Instagram, where you
Well,
you
that
could
was the
really
thing.
go viral and
was
you
the
could
other
really
thing.
get a huge amount of organic reach.
So once we signed to our label, we found out that we were being used in like case studies. We were the band in that deck that people would send to people, where it's like, this is when you're band.
Like content
Deal.
planning. Yeah.
So like the now TikTok guy coming to you.
Yeah, he's like,
back then
this
he
band,
had a deck.
This
with you
band
in it.
posts once a day about the dookie he did in the toilet.
Yeah, yeah.
And you should do that.
No, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. We got like lockouts, but we got that period when it was kind of, you could be effective on Instagram and Facebook, and we kind of came from advertising like jobs.
Wow,
and,
wow.
Well, we had a bit of understanding. How do I build some
We
content?
were madmen before this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah.
and like I had people, I got
Call me John
had heaps of
Hamm.
mates that could help make
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we had like legitimate little kind of ad campaigns of things, and it worked really well.
We had a
and it doesn't
skill-
work like that anymore. Though.
Yeah, we had a skill set that transferred like really organically without us having to really think about it. Because like I knew my way around social media,
Yeah.
and John is a very talented visual artist, graphic
Oh.
designer. So he still does like all the merch and all the art. I'll write all the copy and like.
So you're still
we just-
running at that capacity. You're still doing merch.
yeah.
Well, let's go back before that. Where did you guys meet? Was it like your classic Sydney rock band story where you kind of were both in a Pentecostal church together? And then
But yeah, that is the classic Sydney band.
That is
really.
such a like that is legit a depressing realization I had. I don't know, like 3 years ago.
But I reckon there's a correlation with lockdowns, and then Hillsong being the only place where
sure.
a band can get a gig.
Yeah.
and then
And-
all these
Yeah.
like bands coming out of Hillsong.
it's like
And they
AFL.
teach you too. It's,
Yeah.
it's like we need someone to
Yeah.
play the drums in these, huge, giant.
30,000 seater
Yeah.
auditorium
And the-
of Christ.
The audio quality is fucking
Yeah.
amazing. It feels
Yeah.
like
How do you know?
you're meeting God. Man, you want to know where we started? The same thing with AFL when people in Queensland are like, how is AFL spreading so well in the grassroots among young kids? Because it's like, because AFL gives them free boots and pays their registration. It's
really?
like it's the exact same thing with Hillsong getting into rock music. It's like the kids get given a guitar and an audience. What do you fucking
right.
expect?
Totally.
That's a grassroots
and
program.
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, yeah. And they get cheered regardless. So it's like encouraging.
Yeah.
Where did the name Polish Club come from? Because it's very
Polish parents,
Polish parents. Yeah.
So you're both
the,
both Polish background?
half Polish, half
Novak.
Filipino.
Yeah.
Fully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm
Yeah.
a bit of a liar.
Did you guys meet through the community?
Absolutely not.
Polish community?
No.
I'm wondering, like, that would make sense. There was some wedding you
No,
met at the Polish club.
I grew up in Manly, and he
It's
grew up
the-
in where are you? North.
I'm everywhere. I'm a citizen of the world, John. When I grew up in Belgium, but then I moved back
Yeah.
to Sydney, where I was born, and we met each other on Sydney's North Shore. It's the least fucking rock and
You
roll
grew up in
story
a
the world.
castle in Belgium, right?
adjacent to a castle.
I was castle adjacent, but there wasn't like other bands that crossed over and you guys met, or
Yeah, we were in a band before this band.
yeah.
Yeah, but John's
when you-
been in like several iconic Sydney indie bands.
No.
It was that time, you know,
Yeah.
what is it, 2007?
Oh yeah, when I was like in my 20s, I was like in 5 bands at once.
Just doing
'Cause I'm a,
every- yeah,
'cause I'm a
really
drummer.
lining.
Where everyone's like, do you play an instrument? Like, oh, you do now. Now you play the synthesizer.
Drummers do have that.
Yeah,
where
you don't
they're
have-
mercenaries, aren't they?
Yeah, you don't
Like-
have to know anything about the music or anything. You're like, oh yeah,
and you can just got something on every night with a different band.
yeah. I saw Gillies in
Yeah,
Legend.
One of the few drummers that's only ever played in one band.
No, he's got a.
Oh, he's in the
got a
Ben
s-
Gillies band, right?
He's got a solo thing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't play the drums in it though. Does he?
No, he was telling us he's doing other shit now. He's playing
Yeah.
piano and stuff.
Like you don't hear of too many drummers releasing a solo album.
Phil Collins.
Yeah,
Or Levon Helm, I guess, maybe.
Cram.
Yeah.
Did he ever go solo?
I don't know.
That shitbag from the Eagles. Don Henley. There's one for all the kids out there.
Jack White was the drummer originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted to ask that. There's a similar trajectory then because you're a duo, rock
Yeah.
duo.
Oh,
Rock
as,
duo.
as the White Stripes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been so many famous kind of rock duos over the years. Obviously, with the White Stripes,
Yeah.
Flat Duo Jets, the fucking
Black Keys.
the Black Keys. yeah, they're also a big one.
Royal Blood.
Everly Brothers. Did those bands just teach you that it was possible to have a band with 2 people?
I never
That-
thought of it. I had a high school band that never really released much or toured much. And John joined as like the 8 millionth drummer that we tried. And one day John's like, let's just try a thing ourselves. I think it's like something about two people both writing that is like the optimal number of people to kind of get stuff done really quick.
Oh, yeah, I think with that 4-piece, which is like the two other guys weren't as interested in doing music. They was doing other stuff, and it was hard to get the team together, you know? But when it's just the two of it, you can be like, are you good for it? You're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And there's only one veto.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah. If he goes, oh no, I'm not into it, we just move on.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very
You
much.
don't white ant him and take it to the third member.
But like the thing I've recently discovered is that like the way we write is wildly different to kind of how music is made now, which is like on a laptop in a room working on one song until it's like a dead horse that you're beating in like 24 hours later. Because we've tried to do like writing sessions with a third party.
Yeah.
And they'll just sit there worrying about a lyrical hook for like 3 hours in silence, and we're like, "What are we fucking doing?"
No one cares about lyrics.
No one cares. Well, it'll come. Like you need to write.
That's a good lyric.
It'll come.
Yeah.
Okay, the fourth album by Polish Club. It'll come.
Yeah, we just throw it. When in doubt, just throw a F-bomb in the chorus.
Yeah.
And it'll go. Yeah, people love that shit.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. It's not fucking rocket science. The fifth album by Polish Club.
I know, but like, has anyone ever heard a language warning before a song and been like, "Oh, thank God"?
Oh,
and just
God,
go,
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
every
wonder
band
go
in
and
Sydney
listen to
before they
the
left
Eagles.
Hillsong.
Yeah, why does
On
Triple J still
WSFM.
do that?
I think it's
Yeah.
for parents driving,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
the cool
right.
mum just...
Well, I thought they were a youth network.
Yeah, but there's a cool mum's holding... She's clawing on. She's
Yeah,
holding
but-
on.
You can be young and a mother at the same time.
And with the kids in the car. That must be the reason, because I've never considered it. But you guys, I mean, you don't have the bad boy reputation.
Too tired.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you have to really be a piece of shit to like keep that up. And I feel like that's
Like an actual piece of shit.
it's too much energy.
Yeah.
We're more naughty boys than
Yeah.
bad, like, you know, just
Oh, so naughty.
Brats.
Back.
just, you know, saying rude words and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's
Talking
the
about
easier
politics
way.
and stuff.
I mean, like for 5 seconds,
Yeah.
and people go, "Stick to the music, boys."
Oh yeah. How's that?
I actually was reading that
Yeah.
article, and
Well-
they put it in the headline that you guys are going political.
Yeah, and it's like 2 songs out of 8,
Yeah.
and like there's just like really
And it
kind
was
of
pretty universal sentiment that you were kind of
It's literally-
relaying, which we then saw kind of validated in the federal election
it's
a week
done.
ago.
yeah, like you said, we're not going to talk about it ever again, so don't bother listening to those songs anymore.
It's funny how people still are like, oh, stick to the music. Like, there's no place for politics in music. Where for 100 years, music has been super political.
Yeah.
And like the biggest artists ever
Yeah.
have been.
Mate, Khe-Sanh was about being sent to Vietnam against your will and used
Yeah.
as cannon fodder.
I think the thing is, like, people are stupid in general.
Yeah.
And I'll lump myself in that. And to the point where they don't really pay attention to lyrics. And it's only songs where you're like, it's like, say what you see.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, wait, this is political.
Yeah, yeah.
This is, even if they agree with it, there's something about it that shits people.
Yeah.
Even though I listen to however many songs a day, I'm not listening to a single word, really,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, there's been heaps, like especially in this country. I mean, like you go to Midnight Oil. I mean, I suppose that a lot of these people just hear like a catchy song, but they don't think that it's their bed that's burning. It's,
Hang on a second.
it's not me. It's Tom down the street. It's his
Yeah.
fucking bed.
Apparently, someone did have a
Something
dummy
like
spit at the Midnight Oil show the other day up at the Hunter Valley. Some old codgers were like, these guys have gone too political. It's like,
What do you think you are? What? Well, that's like what it happened like a year ago or something. Someone got shitty at Tom Morello at Rage Against the Machine for being political. And it's like, the band's called Rage Against the Machine, you moron.
It's like, what do you think they were raging against?
Yeah,
Oh, he's
like
bro-
an actual machine.
These
The
broken down
fucking
car.
dishwasher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shitbox.
like every
car.
single song is explicitly about police brutality. But yeah, I can't believe they've gotten so political.
But if you think about any of the great, like the stadium bands in the world, like U2, I don't know, Pearl Jam, I suppose, were political
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, the most political jizz-based named band in the world.
They still deny that it's a jizz reference, right?
I listened to another podcast where Eddie Vedder was the guest the other day, and he did not confirm or deny. So I think it's
it is.
true.
We can confirm it.
Interesting cat, isn't he? They were political in the sense that they didn't do video clips. That was a protest against the status quo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There are every band, every
I
single.
don't know why I said
band is
Pearl Jam.
political.
They're not really obviously political, are they?
I wouldn't choose them as a
Right.
example.
I see Coldplay that concert
Now
recently. where
that's a
people,
political band.
Is it a concert where you could watch the concert on a bike and power the lights? Did you see that?
What?
Yeah. It's pretty good. Making their fans work. They're saving money on the power bill.
It's a lot of bikes.
Yeah. I think it was a whole
literally-
stadium.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Oh,
it
it
was
was
like
a
a gated off area in the back where there was just a row of exercise bikes, and they were full.
And were they, did you get a free ticket if you...
I assume there was incentive. I don't think people are like, "Oh, sick, an exercise bike."
Yeah, who wants to be a slave for...
100,
That's will guide you home.
It's like, yeah,
$150
You
to sit on
spend
a
a-
bike for an hour.
you spend $150 to listen to accountant's music and do exercise.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, they know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
Well, they do. And the last time I would have seen you guys on a stage, well, it was just you, Novak, was the ABC.
Oh God, my heart just skipped a beat. I was like, "What have I done?"
the ABC New Year's production.
What a show!
And you were singing Hutchins. were you?
I was, yeah,
In excess.
in excess.
And you looked rather alert on stage.
What does that mean?
He came out, I was watching with my whole family. And the old man goes, "Geez, this bloke's having a bit of fun."
He's a bit turbo.
How long were you waiting around for before you had to sing?
Enough time to drink a lot of booze. My first words walking in the door was, "Where's the booze?"
At like midday or
It
something.
was only because it's the ABC. It's only wine
Yeah.
and beer, and I've got like a very low ceiling of beer tolerance before I get all farty and birthy. So I was like, all right, two
No,
beers.
it was fine form, but I was wondering, is there a little bit of, with like that era of Sydney, like that post pub rock era,
Yeah.
when it was real sexy and weird, would that have been an influence for you guys, or are you too young for that?
I think it's about to be an influence
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
I think I never really dug too much into In Excess, just because they're one of those bands where like the five biggest hits are always playing somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
I remember,
you never
I remember,
think to
yeah.
go deeper.
I remember before that thing you had to listen to In Excess and you're like, man, they're pretty good, aren't they? Like,
Until I got to the song Kick, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Sometimes I care. Sometimes I don't care.
that's a good song. Simple. That was the moment where like that's like a real mum and like auntie moment
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, you guys are doing all right, eh?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, you sell out like a 1,500 cap venue and they're like, you want to come, mum? And you're like, nah, I'm busy that night. But then like you get on the ABC and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
They
it gets real.
They
Like,
can-
oh, Casey Donovan and him.
Because they're getting feedback from their contemporaries. Like, they're getting feedback from their friends. Like, oh, yeah, yeah, saw Novak on the ABC the other night, actually. He's doing well for himself, isn't he?
I had to, before coming here, I was like, I'm going to chat to the Batuta advocate and I had to spell Batuta to my mum.
Well, that's our fastest growing
Yeah.
demographic. So
right.
I would say... You,
We got one more, maybe.
yeah, that's it. If she,
Still grown. I think like the biggest thing of that, like the broadest audience that I've ever witnessed of something we've done was the Wiggles support shows that we did.
Yeah, right.
It was text from all ages and all walks of life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was just like, whoa, people fucking love the Wiggles.
Yeah.
I reckon they're the most popular band in Australia.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
they're certainly the highest earners
Oh my god.
by a country mile. I mean,
Yeah, I heard that Jeff bought an apartment block and just knocked all the walls down and then made one big house out of it.
one big house to sleep in.
Damn,
Yeah.
Jeff,
I
yeah.
imagine just one big, huge room, like void.
It's just got a ground floor.
It's like I need this space to record the drums for the next album. You know, it's like
They've done it interesting as well, the Wiggles, because they've got that ability to make themselves redundant when they feel like it.
Oh,
They just
yeah.
replace themselves with like a younger...
It's genius.
Yeah.
It's like a
Oh, man.
rotating conveyor belt of
Yeah.
like, if you feel
Yeah.
like doing it,
'Cause you
there's a
guys-
show every
Yeah.
day.
You guys would have been Wiggle kids, right?
No, I just missed out on it, I think. Like,
Yeah.
They started like 92, and I
co-
reckon they got big like 94 4 or 5, I'd say.
So they're crossing
Yeah.
like 3 generations now, I reckon.
Yeah.
And that'll go another one.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
sure.
Well, Muzz was telling us that Murray the Red
Yeah.
Wiggle was telling us that in the 90s they got onto the Disney Channel and they
yeah.
just went skits in America, and they said they played at Madison Square Garden the same kind of time as the Strokes, like they're the biggest,
Yeah.
and the Strokes sold out Madison Square Garden, and then the week after, Wiggle sold it like 8 in a row, 8 Madison Square Gardens in a row.
Every kid in New York.
It's mental. And like the crazy thing is, for those like reunion OG Wiggle shows, they're filled with people that are like our age,
Yeah.
and there isn't a single shred of irony in the
Yeah.
building from
Oh my God.
from either performer or audience member. Everyone's just
It's like, yeah.
super jazzed.
But are they
to be
singing
there.
hot potato or are they singing cockroaches?
No.
It's a Wiggle show. It's like
Yeah.
30 songs of the Wiggles.
It's like full Pavlov, like all the characters are full Pavlovian, like kind of responses. Like
Yeah,
they see wags and like they just go like off their head.
like, oh my god, it's the fucking dog.
30-year-old like humans going absolute nuts. over
Big
it.
red.
It was honest.
Pavlov
It was
in
honestly
response.
like no shred of a joke. It was like a Beatles concert.
Yeah.
Like people were like going
Yeah.
crazy like I've never seen in my life.
We were opening and everyone was just already kind of jazzed for in one way or another. Like when you're a support band, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
It's what I imagine like a Hillsong concert would be
Yeah.
without like Jesus Christ
Yeah,
being
yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Like it's just pure positivity.
Yeah, or like some of that early, like it's just Elvis's kind
Yeah.
of crowds, you know, like
Totally.
those people. That might be a good one for Polish Club, the Parks Elvis Festival.
Oh yeah, I want to get this guy in one of those like Vegas Elvis suits.
Yeah.
One of our only performances with my high school band was in the whatever you call it, the gala ball that they did every year in high school, and we all dressed up in Elvis outfits.
Cool.
It was very revealing. Like it was very, very revealing.
They call those Elvis impersonators Elvi. Like there's a
Really?
plural term for them.
That's a weird scene.
They're the real. They come from lands far away to Parks,
Yeah.
Parks, New South Wales every
Yeah.
year. I want to talk about what I mean. Aside from you guys becoming a radical political band,
Oh, yeah.
by making a crack at the Hawaii holiday,
Yeah.
as we said before, not an overly political statement. It was
No.
like I think the Chats got in on it. Every single band's had a crack about that. You guys did a great photo shoot in the Hawaiian shirts
yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Was that a little bit of a fire burning just because the pandemic was pissing you off so much as well?
I think I think we wrote that like right when it happened. I think.
Yeah, it was a song that was written like a year and a half, maybe 2 years before
Yeah.
it will now be released. I guess like we did spend a lot of time, especially me, much more than John, at home in front of a computer.
Yeah.
And I get a bit like obsessed with clicking refresh when
Yeah.
there's like political stuff going on that's just like, I don't know, it's that whole Reddit thing where you just want to hear people complain about shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's hard not to. I've always struggled with writing lyrics that are political because it sounds so disingenuous coming from me, in my opinion, because I'm like, you know, it's hard to be like, fuck the government, baby. When your natural state is to sing soulfully,
Although like
it sounds weird when it's political.
when you sung about cheesy pizza, Domino's pizza, I believe every word.
Yeah, but I'd have sex with a pizza. I wouldn't have sex with Scott Morrison. That's the difference. That's the difference, you know? So we had to kind of find the middle ground between singing with soul and passion and like kind of being shouty and angry without being disingenuous. And I think it's something I've always struggled with. I don't know.
Yeah.
You kind of have to earn that
Yeah.
right to
You have been
sing
you
politically.
have been like consistently pissed off about things for 2 years though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fuck me, right? There's a lot to be pissed off about. The thing that shits me, right, is all these people on socials who are like, stick to the fucking music, mate.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
another musician talking about politics and things he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And then they'll say their bit, and then you go, why? Like, why did you say that? And not a single person comes back. Not a single person comes back. And it's
Yeah.
just like, that's the most annoying bit.
Well,
'Cause, like,
that's just people telling you to be polite. And when,
Yeah.
you ask that,
but
when
it's
you
not,
ask why, they don't have an answer.
I don't find it being rude. It's literally, to me, it's like I said before, say what you see. I'm just commenting on things I can see, and I can list in a list as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. So when you go, hey, why are you coming back at it? And no one bothers to respond. You're like, well, this is all fucking pointless.
I'm going to write a song. There is a feeling when you kind of look at the world of music or the charts or anything like that. I felt like it was an interesting time. You guys were a bit before this because you guys had made a name for yourself well before the lockdowns and whatever. But there were bands that were just on that verge that I really felt bad for.
Oh,
because it was
yeah.
about to be their year and then they got locked down.
100%.
Yeah.
But I actually do feel like it almost there was like pause. I feel like a lot of those bands did get to have their moment 2 years later.
The issue with that is now that we saw it because we postponed our album tour. Our album came out August last year. And we postponed the album tour twice, and it happened last April this year. And it was great. We sold enough tickets to not lose money on it, and we're still waiting to find out. But I think we made some money from it, which is incredible. But the crowds are not what they were before. And that's no fault of their own, but people are kind of tentative.
Do you reckon
They're
that's
not-
just reconditioning they got to get?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're still in a fucking pandemic,
Yeah.
which seems like a fucking revelation, which is insanity because it's as bad as it's been.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other rant that I won't subject anyone to.
I think when something gets postponed multiple times, if you're like, oh, come on, how about this time? People are like, really though? Like, is it going to happen? And, you know.
Yeah, and then people are like, are these tickets still valid for these new shows? And it's like, no, they're the same shows. Like, there's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And then once people get there, they're like,
Guarded enthusiasm.
should we be here? Should I
Yeah.
be this close to people?
Yeah.
Can I dance? Can I sing? Because
Yeah.
those things were not allowed.
Yeah.
So I think confusion is reigning still, but a lot of people like had to shelve albums that were ready to
Yeah,
go.
we're kind of lucky because it timed well. We were going to just write anyway and not do that much. It almost worked out perfectly because
So close.
we were like, oh, this will only last a year, and we were just planning on making a record anyway. But then it lasted more than a year. But it was,
Yeah,
Could have been worse for
It could have
us,
been so
yeah.
much worse. And I think we're lucky because we've always focused on like the 1,000 or so people that will always support you and always listen to whatever you do and always buy a ticket. So it's nice to always have that as a fallback. So like no matter how irrelevant we get, no matter how, down we get on things and, we stop being as prolific as we are with releases, we know that small but passionate group of
Rusted
people
on.
will always more or less be there. But I feel for those people you mentioned before that had an album ready to go. They were really
about to go to America.
Yeah.
And,
building that momentum. And there's no insurance for any of that stuff either.
No.
So people that had booked tours and stuff, that's money
Yeah.
gone.
It's like an NBA injury.
Totally.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like you were the next you're rookie of the. Oh,
It's
there
like
goes
an-
the ACL.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like that, but there's no salary.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Well-
all projected income.
Yeah.
Did you do any online gigs
Oh, man.
over Skype?
Everyone hates.
It's just the fucking
that was
piss.
bad, yeah. And then the sit down
Yeah.
shows are pretty weird as well.
Yeah.
We did a.
We had to
I
do
did a
couple of
TikTok.
shows like
I did a
that.
TikTok live thing, standing up in my fucking office, under a fucking purple light, a smart light with an acoustic guitar, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. Because it'll just be something to have. It's something to do. And it sounds like balls.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awful every time. I don't care what anyone says. It's always shit.
Some people were selling tickets to virtual
Yeah.
events.
Or like Nick Cave made like millions of dollars apparently from that.
Yeah, but his music translates.
It's actually good.
Yeah, well, this-
over like over a laptop screen. It's like
Yeah.
This is
this guy looks like a Doberman. He's just like
there's two career paths, and it's always most of these questions always come back to this for me. There's two career paths now where it's one's really old and one is like the new popular one where it's TikTok based, it's content based. You're a content creator who has an outlet to make music, right? So you're good at the 10 posts a day. Everything translates well to
Jack
being
Harlow,
packaged for a phone,
Yeah.
which again, I'm not against at all. I think it's fucking rad that people have the autonomy to build a career and do it all themselves.
Yeah, and it happened before. When Rage came out, people were making shit that would work on video
Exactly.
hits, and then radio is the same.
You kind of tailor it to the tools at your disposal.
Yeah.
But there's still that aspect of, especially I feel in Australia with like guitar-based music, we have a rich tradition of bands cutting their chops live and becoming live bands.
Yeah.
You build a crowd of 50 people at every show, and you get another 50 at every show, and you get fucking good at your instrument. And it only works once you experience it live.
And then you get on a surfing video, like your song on a surf video,
Or a skate
and then
video.
you just go off.
Yeah. That was the path, wasn't it, back in the day? Tony Hawk 3, you get on like a video game.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to
FIFA.
Spider-Bait. I think
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they got Black Betty on Tony Hawk
FIFA?
4.
Was
Yeah.
it? Oh, really?
No, it wasn't a
Something
FIFA.
like
See, like early in the day, my kind of dream bucket list checklist thing for the band was it was one thing: get on FIFA soundtrack, and then that game slowly went to absolute dog shit, and everyone realized EA is the worst company in the world.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, damn. But that was the coolest thing back then.
Is it cool?
Again, it's
Yeah.
like those tastemaker things that don't really.
I
Exist
mean, the
anymore.
real crown jewels was Thirsty Merc getting Bondi Rescue.
Oh my god! Come on, that's just winning the lottery, wasn't it?
Every
Ray.
summer, it's like, what color Porsche am I going to get this year?
Have you got Ray in yet? To
No, we wanted to
get him in.
I wanted
He's got shit to say.
I want to go top to bottom on that song.
Have you seen the video that he did in his car?
Yeah. I remember he admitted to it. Yeah, where he was like,
Yeah, I wanted it to fucking be catchy. I wanted it to be fucking catchy as Velcro.
he goes, people think it's a fucking coincidence that we hit all of these same commercial checkpoints.
Wait, that song, I love that song though. That song is fucking sick.
Yeah,
and
it's fucking sick.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
that's when you settle down in front of the TV. Oh, Bondi Rescue song. Take me
Take-
back.
Take me back to the...
I dare you to, like, if that comes on, I mean, if you're driving, that comes on on like, I don't know, Triple M or whatever, I dare you to change the channel.
No.
Never.
Well, I mean, maybe there's one of them on this newest
Wait,
compilation
You
album.
think we don't try?
Yeah.
There's one of the two. Like, are you ready to be like a live fucking band again, or what are you doing? Are you in the studio
See, now we're at the point where
trying to get a song on Euphoria?
We've that's kind of where we're at now, like kind of pizza ad.
Yeah.
We're at the lower rung of getting a song on Euphoria, which is getting a song on like, you know, a fast food commercial. or
Eagle
something.
Boys.
Yeah. That's basically all we get here.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's too classic.
that's-
The old
Yeah.
new Tiguan.
No European shit. I'm talking like down and dirty stuff. Like
Pizza Hut.
yeah,
much.
anything you put in your mouth.
Well, he was on a Domino's ad. Did you see that?
Were you?
That's
Yeah,
why, that's
yeah.
my reference to him singing.
I was up on like
cheese
cable
pizza.
singing to a pizza.
I did see that.
Yeah, it was the
Cheesy
best
crust.
payday of my life.
Sing the tune.
I don't remember.
Cheesy,
Cheese toasty crust love.
remember that?
It's, it's fucking delicious.
I remember the imagery you just described.
Yeah, that's
That's
the future.
more fun though. Like
Yeah.
for us, that's more fun than making some stupid fuck. Here's how I made my song on TikTok. It's like no one wants to see that. People want to hear me talk about
Fly through the
fucking
air.
a chicken or something. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess we'll just once you do finish one record, you just basically start again.
Yeah,
and then, until
Yeah.
you die, and then you just keep doing that till you die.
Yeah, sick.
And we're constantly trying to
The
play
Bob
as
Dylan
many
method.
shows as possible. Before the lockdowns happened, and like I think it was like right before the pandemic became a common knowledge thing. We were like, we got to play 100 shows this year, 100 live shows, because we just want to play as
Yeah.
much as possible because it's the most fun part. And then we all know what happened next. And that
So
never happened.
is there plans for like, 2.0 of that, or is there plans to even leave the country?
Too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It costs you 30 grand or so to bring a couple of people just to land in Europe
Yeah.
with all your gear, have a comm.
Yeah.
Like forget about promoting shows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's wildly
And you're
prohibitive.
literally just playing to like 100 Australians in
Yeah,
London.
yeah.
Which, like, don't get me wrong, it's super
Cool, yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it costs so. All this
Yeah.
stuff costs so much more money than people realize.
Yeah, especially after the pandemic, the
Yeah.
flights are
Yeah.
And
You
then
really-
the
yeah.
issue now is locally. Like, we'd love to play 100 shows. I'd do it in Sydney.
Yeah.
But there's 2 venues.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let's be
Yeah.
real. There's not enough venues to play at. and like we probably don't have enough fans to charge like tickets to any of these shows, so we lose heaps of money. It's just the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you go. Oh, I guess you just kind of wait till the audiences kind of blow off their steam and start coming back.
I honestly
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, but overseas, like to make it overseas worthwhile, you need some like real heat behind you, international heat.
Yeah.
Also, you just need to like kind of be hyper focused on like
Yeah,
we're going to Germany, we're hiring a PR person, so like 5 people at least will know who we are, and we'll get on one radio station.
we did play a German tour for.
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so much
We
fun.
supported these German bands, and it's affordable to like do a 15 show in 15 night thing, and you just get on this like huge tour bus.
Fuck, that sounds
the double decker tour
15
bus.
shows in 15
Yeah, it's
nights.
not,
Yeah.
we did like 10 in 10 days or
Oh, is it?
something.
Oh, right,
Something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it was, but because you can drive from city to city and there's cities in between, not
Yeah.
just bush.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You don't have to fly. So you sleep on the bus, you
Yeah.
get to the venue. There's a fantastic German breakfast ready for you in every single venue.
5 sausages.
Yeah, they're like, welcome to Leipzig, eat a sandwich, some Frühstück. And it was just like a completely different experience.
Oh man, yeah.
It was
You look,
amazing.
people actually like value musicians as like human beings.
Yeah, yeah.
In,
It's a-
in Europe,
it's a-
mainland Europe.
Yeah, it's a career there. It's a job. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
there was like I saw this
Not
video.
like you're the black sheep of the family.
Yeah, Australia's like here's like here's
Here
two.
it's like-
You get 2 house beers, and then you gotta get the fuck out after you play.
You can have a discount on a meal.
Where
There
it's
you
like,
go.
it's like, Mom, look at my record. It's like, your cousin just bought a house.
It's the whole attitude of like you're lucky to be here. You're
Yeah.
doing your hobby.
Like you're hosting fucking trivia.
Yeah,
That's how they treat
like
you.
you should just be happy to
Yeah.
have the chance to do it. How dare you hope
yeah.
for monetary gain from
Yeah,
it and to
yeah.
pay bills from your talent? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Germany treat their teachers the same way. And a lot of Europe do. They put a lot more emphasis behind jobs Australians take for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was a musician, and he'd play accordion and play in like all the ethnic clubs in
right.
Sydney, and he'd play like at a small club on a weeknight and get like $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
and we'd be playing to like I don't know, yeah, like a big decent sized crowd, and I'll get nothing.
Yeah.
They were like 20% to these guys, 20% to these, 10, and then they get 5.
But they're still like the Europeans still like even here, and like they still
In the-
respect
Mm.
You
musicians.
should do a Polish club tour. You'd be getting paid cash.
Well, not much, not enough to hear Lucien from the Asheville Polish Club tell us the story about China for some reason for the 100th time. Let's go to China. Have you been to
They
China?
love you there.
He brought. We got him to introduce us on stage at Oxford Art Factory one time, and he brought a random woman from China who didn't speak English backstage, and I to this day don't know who she was, what she wasn't his wife, what she was doing, why she was there, if she was a representative of something. I think
a
that was
consul?
the kind of vibe he was.
Diplomat?
Yeah,
Spy.
yeah. It's just there's all this
Yeah.
eccentricity going around with these Polish club owners, and I would have to jump in front of
But
a
yeah.
bus before meeting 10 of them.
But we played a gig at the Polish club Ashfield a couple of years ago, and
Nearly died.
It was awesome. Like the crowd was so pissed because Polish beers are like really alcoholic, but taste like mid strength.
And
Like they're all watery, but
There's no RSA marshals in the Polish club either.
so everyone's just like, oh, why the fuck? So like people were just like running, like walking on stage and trying to play drums.
And we had the genius idea of playing pretty much every song we've released in 3 chunks.
Yeah, like 50 songs.
Yeah. It was a nightmare.
I couldn't open my fingers after the show. I was like,
Oh, fuck. That sounds fun. I would like to see this hypothetical Polish club tour of Australia.
yeah, I reckon maybe.
Maybe.
It's bound to happen. Like
It is bound to happen.
We're gonna run out of ideas eventually.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. We've gotten a full rundown on what life and the trials and tribulations have been like ever since the government created that virus to fucking control us.
Have you been talking to
Guy Sebastian.
Polish people?
Yeah, but it's all, yeah. No,
Guy Sebastian.
No, we just tend to keep it to indoor cricket with him. You know, just,
And his golf scores.
Yeah.
We had a guy in here.
no politics.
Oh, you had him in here?
Yeah, we had him in.
right.
We've had him in. But we were very grateful to have you guys in. So thanks for
cheers.
joining us, guys. And all the
Anytime.
best. All the
Yeah.
best moving into this new decade. This new decade post-pandemic.
Okay.
That made you sound like you're real old. We'll turn that one up. Now, all the
Good luck in your 40s, boys.
I am like pretty close to 40.
Whoa. I mean, come on.
thank you, guys. It's been great fun. And we'll be keeping an ear out for those shows.
Thank you for having us.
Club.
Rock and roll.